Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the group stage of the Legend of Zelda Randomizer tournament. We've got race 2 of this group here coming up tonight between Willard J. Bradley, Chrono JJ, and Warpath. Kind of part of a triple header we're doing between the three SpeedGaming networks right now. I'm JP, and I'm joined by Fury SK. How you doing, Fury?
Doing all right.
So, as you can see in the points on everyone's side, you can see how race 1 went. Willard finished in first, Chrono JJ in second, and Warpath in third. Willard and Chrono can lock up spots in the next round with wins, potentially. Warpath needs to not finish last to stay alive. Oh, that is a nice start screen.
I would say so. That's a very convenient thing to find right off the bat. Means you're not going to be behind your opponents.
And we've already got 3 different directions. Use our first Armos check. Not the item there.
Yep, let's see if Warpath makes some changes to his game plan from Game 1. Looked like he had some struggles tracking in Game 1, ended up kind of rediving some dungeons. He's going to hope to keep pace with Willard and Chrono JJ. He's going to have to be a little bit more efficient at making sure he's got his dungeons routed correctly so that he doesn't end up redigging for something that doesn't have an item left in it.
Well, Warpath gets the candle first, and Willard finds a red ring. I know in his practice just before this, he was hoping for something. Like, just his combat was a little rough, so I'm sure he's glad to see that red ring to start. We did also see the white sword on the coast. Well, you'd definitely like to go get that when you find the ladder.
Yep, we'll see how early that ladder shows up. We do see a lack of being able to dive this 5 for sure. It looks like key is going to be required given where it's at in the overworld. Oh, we've got the best enemy set for the dungeons too. You got the Whiz Ropes and the Dark Nuts rolling together. Everybody's favorite to play with.
Yeah, you're glad to see the the red ring right now if you're Willard.
If we can't bomb, this one's over with already.
Yeah, 2 dungeons seen, 2 pretty much immediate blocks.
Well, I made a point of talking about early keys when you get the money. I don't think I'll need to make the point to these runners that they might want a key purchase pretty quickly, given how 2 dungeons that aren't the biggest, but aren't the smallest, have key blocks right away. And it's 2 of the dungeons that most runners consider as most likely to actually have keys in them. So you're not going to be able to run into 4 and 5, grab keys, and go into 1 or 2. You need keys just to get into 4 or 5.
I don't think we've seen a key shop. I don't think we've seen any shops yet.
Yeah, it's certainly too early to have the money for the keys anyways, unless you find a large secret right away. So it's just something to keep in mind. Maybe stay in the overworld a little bit longer, get some keys, and then go ahead and choose which one you want to dive, or maybe even save beforehand and check one, as we do find a shop but doesn't have a key. It just has a very expensive setup going.
95 arrows if they're needed. Warpath also picked up his red ring.
Expensive key is no good.
Oh yeah, 72.
Well, 72 is not too bad. That's the smaller of the two prices. The magic boomerang, or regular boomerang, is the white sword item. Don't know how interested the runners are going to be at going back once they get to 6 or 7 hearts. It seems likely they'll have items by then that may make that not so interesting.
Got a vanilla small secret. Vanilla in price, not in location.
I would rate this as one of the deadliest overworld setups too. Guria and Lionel on the same screen is just a lot of projectiles to kind of try and figure out where they're going. Pole's voice is nice to have up because it means you're not going to really need to fight rooms of Pole's voice on Woodsword. We do find level 8 in the intersection point between Western and Eastern Death Mountain. But I don't know that Chrono's really interested in that yet.
Yeah, that's a tough one to dive early.
It does have 2 items and it had an open door, and we might need keys, so I may have looked in there real quick just to see if we could get something for free, but yeah, I don't know that you make the full dive yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just a quick dive to see if you find something quick. If you find one of those early level, well, yeah, like level 1, level 2, or level 3, it'd be nice to see. Even though some of those can be highly key locked. Oh, that's a nice big secret. 120.
Yeah, so let's see what Chrono decides to buy with that money.
Our tracker might be having a little fun with the buy.
Well, they're marking Triforces for dungeons we've seen, I think.
Ah, very smart. Nice work.
Yeah, Kemi and Renakai did this with one of the last ones that I was on commentary for. Went ahead and tracked the dungeons for us so that we knew which ones were still outstanding. Looks like Chrono only bought the bait. I don't know that I would have passed up on the key, especially with red ring. You're not going to need the blue ring, so you can't really look at that. Candle purchase, if he hasn't got one, that makes a little bit of sense now.
I would have picked up a candle at some point. Maybe I mistook that. Well, let's see right now. I guess he hadn't.
Well, he went to the Take Anyone, took the heart container, and walked it back to the candle shop, I think, which makes sense now. It's a little bit more interesting if you're not in Death Mountain with bombs and looking around Death Mountain. If you're in the forest and casting up burn bushes without a candle because you're kind of skipping the freebie one, that's where it gets a little bit more painful, but definitely makes sense with where he was exploring.
Chrono's back in 8. Yeah, I'm gonna try to kill these darkness. We might have a quick item here.
Doesn't look like the reds are too bad. Looks like close to vanilla HP, so it's... Go ahead and kill these off. If it's an item right off the bat, then it's going to be big payday.
It is a staircase. That's a nice item to find early.
And that was one room in. That's why you definitely check a room. I think now that actually would make me more inclined to dig just a little bit further. It may be a big dungeon, but you've already gotten one free item. If you get an easy Triforce, maybe you skip out on this dungeon for a while.
I'll say you might have a second item. Nope, that's a shadow door anyway.
And that was a payday in Death Mountain, which again, a lot of runners tend not to go there real early, so that wand could be an advantage that Chrono has over both Willard and Warpath for quite some time.
And a second easy item is a recorder.
Yeah, now, upon getting this, I'm not sure if I'm bombing and hoping for the right bomb wall. I think that one shutter door room probably has the map with the Goma in it, so probably just want to bail and come back once you have bow and arrow, since you know the bow isn't going to be in here. If you're going to bomb somewhere, I think, ooh, well, I mean, this could also be the map right here. I was going to say maybe you bomb up towards that key door from the second item flute. Yeah, it doesn't look like we found the bomb wall, so maybe just farm these dark nuts and escape.
Yep, looks like that's the play.
Could choose to refarm that room since you're in Death Mountain and want to be able to clear more of it. And there's the key purchase, so I think that's the right play. So Chrono's going to make the play right back into 8. It's hit or miss as to whether or not this is the most valuable call to make right here. If it pays off in a Triforce, then it looks really smart, but given the key blocks that he's seen, I know he's at least seen the one in the northeast corner where the 100 secret is in level, I want to say that was 5 that was up there. It's 4 or 5, one of them.
Yeah.
This level 8's looking really segmented too, which is odd given it gave us both items right away. There's a bomb upgrade that we could have afforded if we didn't buy the key, but you couldn't have seen it without the key either. Meanwhile, it looks like Warpath has a good dungeon.
Well, yeah, level 1. That's a nice find, and that's a quick Triforce.
Yeah, look for a second like he was going to start preparing to either up A or fight, and then realized A, there's a Triforce, and B, that's a lot of Wizrobes and Dark Nuts, so no thanks. We'll see if Warpath knows how to pop this right door open. If he goes about it by pirouetting on the overworld to the right screen, then goes back, he'll be able to get around it. I'm not exactly sure why Warpath's clearing this room. It's just going to open the shutter back for him, so it's...
Yeah, that's a good point. You're not gonna... This isn't gonna be a staircase.
Yeah, I know sometimes runners like to clear the rooms that the items were in, thinking it might be a staircase, but in this case the shutter door should tell you pretty much straight up that you're not going to have anything below it. And worst case scenario, you leave the room with 8 bombs, so it's no harm, no foul, just a couple of seconds spent.
We got level 3 on Willard's side.
A little bit surprised the 8 didn't show up segmented. Alright, Warpath, let's see if you go to this right screen. He's going to go there and burn the bush. Meanwhile, big item in 3. Yeah, it looked like level 9 was one screen over from level 1. Yeah, it was technically a bow-locked ladder, but because it was an easily accessible staircase otherwise with a block clip, you can get through the logic the game presents to you. And this really isn't designed too much like some of the other Zelda games that come along later where there's a lot of logic puzzles in the randomizer, and this one's pretty straightforward, so we already know the bow's outside of 9. We knew that before that happened.
JJ is out of 8. Willard is digging through 3. Looks like it's a segmented 3. I'll get an idea right now.
Yep. With where the compass was showing way up north, it seemed pretty obvious, and then he came across this diamond staircase after already getting his item, so he knew it. Probably going to clear some rooms along the way in hopes of finding some key drops. Don't think we'll see Willard go after the heart container in here, though.
Yeah, makes sense unless it happens to be like right in this room. Nope, but there is a key for him.
Yeah, I've got a little bit unlucky with the bomb being fairly perfect on that manhandla.
Let's put a prediction up for a item lock dungeon. Looks like we only have 3 possibilities for that at this point. 2, 7, and 9.
Oh, you're unfortunately down to just 2 and 7. 9 is on Candle Row in the middle spot.
Oh, I missed that one.
No worries. We got Gibdo holding a bomb. Could also just drop us one instead of holding onto it, but whatever. And Willard now going to make some key purchases. At least 1. I would probably go for 2, but it's to each their own.
You're gonna take some arrows too. And so is Warpath.
Yep, it's definitely valuable to get the arrows. It won't do you much good in this scene with Pole's voice, given it's overworld Pole's voice, but we've already seen 1 Goma block in a dungeon, so if there's a more prominent Goma block with just a single push block, or maybe a double push block, as opposed to a diamond or a right-hand stair or something like that, it'll give you a chance to get around it if you find the bow, but not the silvers.
Not to mention spinning your rupees protects you from muggers a little bit.
Nope. To the 4-heart nanner. Warpath was willing to pick it up since he doesn't have ranged weaponry. Willard's making the play I would make in his position. White sword on the coast, I have a ladder, let's go get it.
Yeah, now Willard and Chrono both have offensive upgrades. Warpath's still looking for one.
Looks like we got the Super Room 6 as well. The raft is the staircase item, and it's a right-hand staircase with a Triforce on the floor. Some Kananaki's helping out Chrono use the wand to his advantage to be able to pull him off, so gets out of this dungeon +1 on keys, which is always nice. So it looks like Willard and Chrono getting out to a little bit of an early start here. Hopefully Warpath either finds their way into 8 and finds the wand, or gets into level 3 for the ladder.
Well, there's 7, so we now know that 2 is our locked dungeon. That's a 5.
Yep, we have a small chance at a bow block dungeon. Don't think it's going to happen this time, though. Nope. Down to 1 bomb wall, I think, now. No, 2. No. No, I should have just kept with my first idea. No, we are completely and utterly bow blocked. Good news is, we know bow's not here, so we don't even have to come back for this item potentially by the time we get to bow. We might be lucky and find silvers along the way.
We're on Chrono's side, we've got a staircase.
It looks like maybe a dig dogger block in terms of being able to continue. If this is an item here, it may impede Warpath's ability to continue digging, whereas Chrono's got the flute.
This is the transport. Chrono's not going to look at any further, or not going to take it for now.
Yeah, Willard finds 1 in the freebie Triforce. We'll see if he opts to burn a key or if he knows about pirouetting on the overworld. Looks like he's going to go to the right, so he's got this trick down. It's a trick that Warpath should get into his repertoire soon, because it definitely can help you conserve keys in these early dungeons where they like to burn a lot. And speaking of burn, I'd probably burn my bait that I bought on him.
Looks like Willard's going to look for a bomb wall first.
Yeah, it's the right call. You have bombs pretty easy to come by, both in these dungeons and on the overworld, given you have the white sword for combating, and you can kill these red wizrobes and red dark nuts bombs. Yeah, it looks like Willard's realized you can't go anywhere, but this is level 1, so with the item density in terms of rooms per item, you have to spend keys here. There's just no choice.
Yeah, exactly. You can't leave this right now. Oh, that might be a dig dogger blocked item.
Yeah, it could just be a troll push block. We have a couple of those. There's also a potential for a floor blocked item by a dig dogger now, too. Although I think this is probably the map.
At least he has a ladder, so he can keep moving.
Yep, but if that dig dogger doesn't house a staircase underneath it, or we can't get around some other way around the Chevy, then we know the bow's not here by default, because we needed the ladder to get, or we needed the bow to get the ladder in theory. We clipped into that diamond staircase. That's why we would need. It wouldn't logically make sense anymore, because the way Fred designs it is not in the sense that runners can make these clips.
Having that recorder early for Chrono is going to be big, because we've seen so many dig doggers so far in this one.
Yeah, what's also to Chrono's advantage is he has 3 keys to his name now, so if you get a couple more, I'd feel really comfortable in diving any sort of dungeon.
Would like to play that money-making game. Unfortunately, it cost him 38 rupees there.
The Warpath's up on Death Mountain, but it's a bit of an unfortunate situation where he's not got any bombs to really bomb anything up here, so hopefully he can find a bomb drop.
Well, Willard's found 8. Let's see how deep he dips. Remember on Chrono's side, these items are pretty early. And with White's sword, he's having a much easier time in this room. Now, if Willard finds that recorder, I wonder if he'll go straight back to level 1. After finishing up, however, he probably wants to dip into 8. Yep, there's the recorder pickup for Willard.
Yep, so Willard's now got a small advantage over Chrono.
He's going to leave 8 behind for now. Yeah, I'd go back to level 1.
Yeah, so the reason why you leave 8 is you've got both items and you just don't want to explore forever in a day and burn resources there when you've got smaller dungeons that you haven't picked up items in.
Chrono checking one of our dungeon spots, potentially.
Yeah, I got fairly trolled trying to get across there. The Guria kept hitting him past the point where the raft would take him across, so he had to keep trying to reset it. Looks like Willard is now rich again after finding a large secret. I would expect that he'll probably go back and purchase some more keys, because it seems to be blocking a lot of things now. Might come after a level 1 dig if he decides to go back there, as we know that recorder block of the single block room and the potential for it to be a floor block.
Just bought 1 key. Yeah, there's the recorder. This is probably the playback to 1.
Yep, so Willard also saved that 1 key, so maybe some intention on Willard's part to save scum his key if he doesn't like what he sees in 1.
Chrono's in 5, and he's going to find out the bow block pretty quick here. Let's see if Lord finds anything in these 2 Dig Dogger rooms.
Be something if this is the bow.
No, it's the power bracelet.
Well, that's a good find for Willard. That eliminates all but the raft spots that we know aren't going to be required, so that may be the item he needs specifically to get the overworld block clear. Otherwise, it was a recorder lake.
Now we have back-to-back items.
Still think I favor the map here, but we'll see. You get nothing. We both lose. Good day to both of us.
Well, looks like we will not be seeing a bow in here. Now, that's a heart container. That could be the item, but we would need to see another.
But this could still be something very useful. It could be any key, which would solve a lot of key issues. It could be silvers, which will be required. Looks like we're going to have to do some bomb hunting to figure it out, though.
There we go.
So a really interesting one that's got its map so late. Oh, any key, there you go. There's a big item.
Yeah, that's a nice find. Willard's out of key issues as Warpath goes into 8s. He's going to start to dig.
Yep. Warpath's going to find some help on combat, which is really going to speed him back up to the rate that the other runners are at, but that makes Willard's play look really smart, because if that's not like an any key there, then you can just retry out, flute back there, grab your power bracelet, and be on your way. But now he didn't have to burn extra money on more keys, so he has something for bomb upgrade later, or something else maybe. Big shield. But yeah, just knowing not to spend on too many keys and just take a look in there and try and solve it after is definitely going to be to his benefit.
Willard's near Recorder Lake. Let's see if he checks it. He should. As Warpath finds his recorder.
Yeah, bit surprised.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you had it.
Yeah, he skipped the one room with the dark nuts. Hopefully he goes back and checks it. I mean, he'll have to up an A to do that, but
I may not be thrilled with the prospect of fighting all the red dark nuts here, but I think you have to give it a shot, even with wood sword. May also just kill this guy too, because why not? This is where it would have been nice if Warpath got lucky with a 4-heart regular boomerang, because it would have been able to stun this guy. Still likely to win this fight over this single mini dig dogger, but just takes a lot longer.
Warpath does not want to take on those dark nuts, and that's unfortunate. But he is at 0 bombs, so that might be part of the reason. There's a map for 4. Not too surprising. I kind of see the top of 5 in this 4.
It's a bit more difficult for me to piece together the small dungeons based on one another, because they have a lot more dungeons covering the same grid as 7, 8, 9 sizing, basically.
Yeah, I'm just noticing that this one's kind of more squished towards the bottom. All 5 was pretty much along the top.
Yep, I agree. Kind of makes me think that level 6 will not actually be that much bigger than this 4 or 5. So this is already a 23 room, level 4 it appears. I think level 5 was roughly the same, 24, 25 area, so this would make me anticipate a 6 if I were a runner. That's probably going to be no greater than like 26 or 27 rooms.
Chrono has also found level 1, but no ladder, so you can get the power bracelet, but not the any key.
Yeah, that could come into play, or it also might force Chrono to go in the right direction for some items.
Wood getting that ladder as in 3 as one of his first items has really paid off for him so far.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the bait block was not needed.
Yeah, Chrono probably knew that, was just trying to burn the bait. You know that you can't bomb up there unless it's Zelda's room, because 1 opens up all walls automatically that it is allowed to. So if you couldn't bomb over from the Wizrobe Darknut Triforce room, then that room can't really be anything other than Zelda's room. But Power Bracelet coming in here.
There's silver arrows in 4. The Willard just needs the bow.
Yep, so it's a question of whether it's behind the power bracelet, or if it's in level 6, which it can't be actually, so it's just 2 or 7. Because it can't be in 5.
I don't know if he's seen all the dungeons, so other than 2 at this point. If he hasn't, he might start looking at those power bracelet spots, trying to find 2. 2 would not be a bad dungeon to find because we know it'll be a smaller dungeon. You'd rather dip 2 than 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Willard went to West Death Mountain to see what we've seen up there. To answer the question, chat, Power Bracelet was Dig Dug or blocked in level 1 pretty early on. It was not past the Chevy room, if that was what the question was.
Here's a power bracelet spot. Not our level, that's a mugger. Oh, door repair, not mugger. Essentially the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just you walk in, and it's just like, pay me now, and get robbed for all your money. Kind of makes you wonder why some doors are only worth 16 and the others are worth 25. Must be a really nice door for some of them.
Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. Is Warpath finds the raft. Yeah, yeah, just it's depending on how nice the doors are in the seed. I guess how nice Fred decided to generate them.
Yep. Visited Hyrule 30 years ago and it was 16 rupees. Now here we are in 2022 and it's 25. But Warpath Triforce in 6 now with the raft, so it's pretty easy 6 for Warpath too. Alright, Chrono now finds level 3. No keys, but I don't feel like Willard had many keys when he dug this real early, so it's obviously just right here.
It's right here.
And I'm pretty sure with the red ring, Chrono's just going to keep going for this even if he dies. I don't think he's going to miss it. Might look another room right now, but he'll definitely go for it. Yep, here comes the health refill.
And there's 7 for Willard. He's gonna dig.
Oh yeah, you have to at this point. You've cleared a good portion of your dungeon items out of the way. You don't have your Triforce in 8, but you've seen both items, so your options are 2, 5, 6, or 7 if you're Willard, and 6 and 7 are about the same. But yeah, Chrono's going to get his ladder here. We'll see if he goes for the white sword instantly or what the play is. At 247 rupees, I'd be buying key.
Yeah, Chrono and Warpath are in the same situation with that. They have a lot of rupees. Warpath is heading back into 1. But in a similar situation that Chrono was in that he does not have a ladder, so he can get... Oh, he can't even get beyond this first door.
Yeah.
He had to use a key to open that door since he didn't pirouette.
If he watches this back, my advice would be to kind of understand the pirouette trick, because it's going to cost you at least a key here, and if level 5 was in a completely different location where you could actually walk to the left, you could also have pirouetted that one. So it could cost you multiple keys over your opponents when you're racing. So if you're racing in a pickup or a tournament, either way, it's kind of useful information to have. Pretty sure there's a walkable path to this Triforce. I think you have to go down and bomb around a little bit to get there, but this one key door won't deter him. We are going to spend time killing this dig dogger that can't house anything, though, so it's a bit unfortunate.
Did we see this push button on Chrono's side? Or does it matter?
Warpath is going to go ahead and take the raft that he just got and make sure there isn't a dungeon on a raft tile. We know that this raft tile is not going to be it. The other one's just a take any road.
Chrono with that Triforce is up to 3. Willard's kind of feels like Willard's starting to pull away from the other two, and Chrono could start to pull away a little bit as well, unless Warpath. Looks like I feel like Warpath needs to go back to 3 and get the ladder. Getting that ladder really feels like it opened up the seat a bit.
Yeah, it's hard for me to decide whether or not Willard or Chrono are really that far away from one another, because Chrono does have a lot of knowledge of level 8's design. He's seen a lot of rooms there, so that's where his time loss is. But you have to think Willard's going to have that same time loss at some point, given the Triforce wasn't easily available.
Yeah, but you also have to remember the key situation.
Yep, that's kind of the one thing that could be hit or miss. We'll see how many key doors are really in the way as far as the seat goes. The advantage is that Chrono can still buy 3 keys and get through a lot of these key blocks, and you have to think he'll eventually go back to 1 anyways.
Warpath's going into 3. If he goes just 1 room to the right, he can get to that ladder.
Yep, hopefully he feels comfortable about block flipping around the Skoma.
He's trying to get it.
He's not using the sword to buffer either. That's kind of the downside of this. Or at least I'm not seeing the sword swipe.
Warpath takes a death, but he was right near the start, so not a big deal.
Maybe he'll decide to go after this Goma block clip again. We'll see.
No, he's going on.
Well, I think he'll still get turned around at some point once he realizes this other one's a transport. Well, this is a fun room for Willard, even with a red ring. You don't like this.
Yeah, in his practice right before this, he was dealing with a seed that had several rooms teeming with blue wizrobes. Again, I think he's pretty happy to have a white sword and red ring early.
Yeah, worth noting that if the item drop is in that top room beyond that shutter door, it's gonna put the bow in level 2.
Chrono has his silver arrows.
Yeah, so perhaps the biggest advantage that Chrono can gain out of all this, even with his key count being in dire straits still, is that if he happens to just go ahead and check all the overworld blocks that he has access to now and finds level 2, if the bow is not in the 7, it might be in 2, and that might really start speeding him up because he can go back to 5 and finish that off, and he's really not going to have to dig anything else. So he's not going to have to go through a lot of key doors if the Triforces end up being early enough.
Yeah, Willard's skipping that room. I think he might know the exact same thing, knowing the ladder was bow blocked. That room cannot have the bow.
Yeah. So now Warpath has the map. He knows that this staircase is his transport. So he knows by default that that Goma is blocking his item, so that should make him more interested in going back there eventually.
There's a compass. Oh, no, that's the room below the blue wizard room.
Yeah, as much as I would love for it to be in that blue wizard room, we're going to have another one spawn to make it happen. You have to fight this two-headed Gliok, which is not exactly fun in this specific room because you don't have a lot of room to maneuver in the middle, but it's only two, so I think Willard should be able to handle it. Hey!
Yep, Warpath got the clip, got the ladder.
So that's good. I didn't want Warpath to be well behind the runners just because he wasn't able to really figure out the block clip. So happy to see that he pulled that off and can continue going.
Willard is grabbing the Triforce. Let's see if he goes back in or not.
Given how much exploration we have of 7, I think you kind of have to all in at this point, and your only alternative really is to go 2 hunting. I'm not exactly sure how many rooms Willard has left, but I've got to assume it looks like... Was that 1 room? I couldn't tell because he was so quick with it.
I know he's at the bottom left corner.
Oh, we know 2 is officially power bracelet blocked at this point, since we've recorded lakes and raft spots all done, so which one will it be under? The other room that's available to Willard is this room in the very southwest, actually, so there's 2 rooms. This could be a bomb down. Oh, is this an old man room?
He's got to go through the Dark Nut room to get there.
Yeah, this is easily doable with this combat, but I'm wondering if maybe we haven't seen all the old men and that's an old man room in the 7. In which case I wouldn't even bother clearing the blue wizard room. I'd just go find 2.
Yeah, if this room's not it, you'd leave. You don't check that. Yep, and it is an old man room as you predicted.
Yeah, I may be wrong. Maybe there's another room we haven't seen yet. I really only got a really quick glimpse of this. One more room? Maybe all the way to the right?
Yeah, maybe. He's gonna take the wizards out.
Yeah, this is not going to pay off in much of anything. The book is the best bet, as Chrono's in 2. Oh, that's true. He doesn't know about the raft, so that's actually a valid point, because he could be raft blocked out of a dungeon.
There's the book.
That's literally the best case scenario of stuff on the board, but that puts the bow in 2 and Red Candle and Magic Nanner in 9, so we have every item from a commentator's perspective. Speaking of 2, did you notice the map of 2 is just a little bit interesting?
Yeah, it's a triple... well, I don't know if you call it triple segment, but 3 segments. So we're gonna have 2 sets of staircases and a floor item.
Oh, I guess that's true. We're missing another item in 5. So we do have that to look forward to, but that's not going to be the bow. So I was getting ahead of myself. Forgot completely about 5.
There's the heart container. Another potential staircase room that would take you to that single segment.
Yeah, which could still have your item, that one random room by itself. Diamond staircase in 2 has the corner drop. Right-hand staircase in 2 has the middle of the floor drop. Not quite sure about the maze room if it's in 2, but there's at least 2 staircase rooms that could end up that way. Or it's just there past the chute. Willard has it.
That should be go mode for Willard. He's found... He probably knows at this point he doesn't need Raft, so... He just needs to go back to 5, 6, and 8 and get those Triforces.
Yeah, Chrono's not going to be too far behind, again, assuming we're not key blocked, so... he's going to burn a key here, and then I don't think either of these doors is key blocked. I think it's double shuttered, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think Chrono probably avoided this room for as long as he did because of his key situation, and that's... Oh, there isn't another key door. He's going to get his bow, but he's going to be out of keys.
Yeah, and he's out of money, too. I think he must have spent on keys, because I didn't see what else he bought.
Willard's still checking Overworld. Maybe he hasn't found all the dungeons yet.
I'm fairly convinced the one he's missing is 6. Yeah, Chrono, I don't know if he saw that he got that, so... Oh, no, maybe he cleared another room for a key. Yeah, he cleared another room for a key, that's fair. So he did see he had the bow.
Now, Warpath just finished, got the Triforce out of 4, but he still needs to get the silver arrows out of here. We know they're, I believe they're in the bottom right-hand corner of the dungeon.
Yeah, Warpath is in dire straits at this point. He needs the key for that bottom corner, I think, to be able to find his silvers, and he just burned it there, so he's not going to have it. But he's going to need Willard probably to maintain a small lead here and beat Chrono into level 9 and get the 4 points, because it's going to give him a better chance of catching Chrono. Whereas if Chrono wins, then it's all over for Game 3 already. Good news is Chrono's going up to level 5. I don't know that he ever burned the ski door.
Warpath could still have a chance if he finishes ahead of Willard, but that'd be about it. Yeah, it's bet for Warpath he needs to finish ahead of Chrono for the best situation.
Yeah, I was... Worst case scenario is still just if Chrono wins this race for him. If that happens, you're looking at 7 points, so you can't catch up to him unless you get second. So you're rooting for Willard to lose a small lead here and then get trolled significantly in 9, which... Trolling in 9 can happen to anybody, so I wouldn't put it past the game to get somebody good. Just as an example, I think earlier this week I called the really late race, as we're going to find the transport in 5, and it had a situation where 3 runners all got into 9 before the first one finished, and Two of them who got in first got in and spent 25 minutes in that level 9, whereas the last person in spent 10. May or may not have come back on him. Willard's clearing the staircase, which cannot push because it's a Gliok, so that's something to take with him if he listens back on the restream. It's a situation where the fireballs won't work properly if that push block happens.
Warpath back in level 1. Now he does have the ladder, but I think you need another key to get to the any key.
Yeah, he won't be getting the any key, but he'll at least be able to enter level 2 now if he kills off this Dig Dogger. Dual Triforce pickups in 5. Important for Chrono because he got 2 keys along the way. So now who's going to have the quicker dive? I would think Willard will have the quicker dive of 6.
Yeah, because that Triforce in 7 is on one of the bottom rows, and you come in on the top row.
Yeah, the transport takes you a little ways down, but it's still not a fun spot. At least he won't have to clear the blue Wizrobe room, though, because there's really nothing outside the book to even look for, or any key in his case. So you're pretty much go-moding in hopes that you don't run into massive key problems and you get an early map at 9 if you're in this go mode like this.
There's plenty of money for Willard, but I think he's still looking for level 6.
Yeah, it gives him some potion money or some bomb upgrade money, but he'd much rather have just found this spot instead.
Okay, that's a 6.
Yep. If he goes the right way, he won't have to look at the majority of it, though. We'll see if he even bothers to peek into the staircase.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like now that he's found 6, he knows he doesn't need to find anything else.
It is a super room, so, I mean, some people just get drawn into that staircase. Worth noting that Willard's the only one to have routed back to the Coast White Sword item, despite all 3 runners having the ladder.
Oh yeah, that's a big upgrade for Willard to have as well. Just being able to have the White Sword throughout most of this seed. All he needs to do now is dig 8 for a Triforce.
Question chat, do I think Chrono will dig looking for the any key? No. I would say 100% if he gets the compass, he's going straight for that room.
If I remember correctly, the compass is on the bottom row.
He's already getting down to the bottom somewhere, so he's got a chance to find his way to the room with the Triforce in it. It's to the right, through this key door, and through a shutter door with a Gliok guarding it, but there may be a way around.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can to avoid using keys.
Looks like he's going to go up and check this one-off bomb wall just to make sure it's not something he needs, so it's just him making sure he's got everything checked off.
Hey, there's a bomb upgrade for Willard. And that's a max bomb upgrade, too.
Yep, cheap and max.
Warpath's in 2, but without keys, he cannot get to that bow.
Yeah, and this is a situation where he's had key money for a long time, so really should be looking at buying some.
Well, you might have your wish with Wizard's guarding a Triforce if it's in this room.
Please be in this room. The seat's been very, very nice outside of key doors. Let's give him a little troll. Nope, just a $5.
Both bomb upgrades were in 8.
I mean, might as well take what the seat's going to give us. And
Yeah, I
has
guess
all
so.
the monies.
I think this is a Fred-friendly seat with all these bombs.
So worth noting on Chrono's side, he's walked around this Gleeok and found the compass and found 3 extra keys. So I actually don't think keys are going to be an issue. Nearly as much of an issue as they were before. Sure. And he knows this is the Triforce room, so he's going straight for it, which is the right play. You don't want to dig a big 7. If you're going to make an any key play, you make it in 1, where there's far less places to go. And I would be stunned if he did.
Yeah, but as we keep going, we're watching Willard and Chrono pull further away from Warpath.
Yeah, I don't see a situation right now where either one of these runners is going to get slowed down enough for Warpath to really get back in. It would definitely be Chrono if it happened, because Chrono's on less resources than Willard, but it's really going to be tough. You'd have to get really insanely lucky with your Triforce finds in 7 and 8
And
if you're Warpath.
this 8 is another deep Triforce. Willard got the compass, and yeah.
Yeah, well, he's 100% going to take this transport and see where it goes. Might get you there faster.
I think it took you 1 room to the left.
It took you, what, one? I think 1 room away, maybe 2. Was this the Diamond Stair? No, it was literally 1 room, as you said. Wow. Good jokes, game. Good jokes.
Chrono's got the compass as well, so he knows where the Triforce is. This is going to be close going into 9.
Yeah, it looks like at most maybe 2 minutes difference. Just gonna take Chrono getting a little bit lucky with his resources. I mean, he's gonna have another key now, so he's up to 6.
I mean, as we talked about before, at least in regards to Warpath, like, Willard needs to win for Warpath to stay alive here.
Even still, at this point, you also have a time tiebreaker. And I don't know if Warpath finished or forfeited the first one. I want to say he finished, but we have an early roar.
Yeah, that's an early roar for Ganon.
Yeah, Willard's trying to block clip here. You can either double block clip down, or you can just do a reverse block clip. So the way it works is you do like a sideways block clip, and then you go up with it like you would in level 9 for the silvers if you're doing a no-up A run for the quick swag. Get around the reverse seat.
There's the roar again.
Yeah, this just eliminates the need to do it, but there's 2 ways to do that. So Willard in the lead into 9 by less than a minute in the end, and Chrono's going to go right to the potential roar. He's going to definitely clear this room and go through the shutter, I think, first, so we'll have simultaneous scans. No, never mind, I lied. Well, I mean, still simultaneous in a way, right?
Yeah. Though Chrono's gonna have a longer fight with the wood sword.
Yeah. Wasn't super clean for Willard, but in the end, we take any defeat again, and so it only cost him a couple seconds, maybe at most. I'd been super sad if that shutter door opened on the other side first.
Yeah, this is not a quick Zelda, so still have to dig for that.
I'll never say never. You could get the next room situation still. So we're rooting for a small troll at least in this 9.
So now it's the hunt for Zelda between Willard and Chrono.
Yep, Chrono made up a small amount of time on that fight.
At this point, we're just looking for a shutter door that opens the moment you step into the room.
Yep. If I'm Willard, I'm clearing this room because it could be a corner drop with a compass. So this is a situation now where Willard is running through a bunch of key doors, whereas Chrono went down and has chosen a different path from a different key door, but it would have potentially turned around Chrono if he kept going this way. Whereas now, we're going to see a divergence potentially where both runners are in 2 different areas.
Let's remember that Willard has the map, Chrono does not. So Willard kind of has an idea of where he can go, and Chrono's a little blind at this point.
Yeah, I think I would have bombed in that room with 8 bombs just to see if I could continue going that way. This way is going back towards start, and I don't think you have enough room in between the starting entryway and the shutter door for there to be much here. Could be a staircase somewhere. Nope, no staircase even. And that just gets you to this room. Well, it looks like we were all the way far left with this room. Ronald's going to burn this key. Burn another key. This will have to turn into a staircase room for it to pay off, and it's not. So we know he can't go any further because we can see Willard's map.
I think Willard is trapped, yeah. Remembering where he was earlier, that's a closed off room there.
Yeah, Chrono's clearing some rooms now just in hopes of a compass. Well, that'll work.
Well, I think Willard might be nearby, or... Oh, never mind, sorry, I thought I saw the compass pick up, but that was not it.
Yeah, it feels like Chrono's going to have to find the right staircase to lead him directly to Zelda, because Willard's got the exploration advantage by quite a good margin now.
And he's going up to this upper right corner, see if Zelda's locked up there.
Well, I mean, you know that's not going to be her now, at least. So you could have opted against it if you wanted.
Let's see if you found a compass, though. Nope.
Oh, no dice in that group of bomb walls. Man, they're really close to each other again.
Yeah, they're each going through the rooms. The others, they're in the same room right now.
Yeah,
Different
Chrono's got to go up to look around. It would have been funny if they both went down and this shutter door opened or something crazy. Almost seems like Willard's bound to find Zelda, given the exploration now. It's almost certain that she's down here somewhere. Yeah, Chrono's not tracking which rooms he's cleared. I don't even think he got the wand again, just passed on the same room. See if Warpath goes back to that room and kills him now.
There's the compass, and Zelda's right below Willard right now, and he's gonna find a room.
Old man's asking some irrelevant questions at this point, but get your GGs out for Willard. It's in there sub 111.
And Chrono's not too far away at this point either.
I've just got to bomb the right walls. It looks like key-wise he'll be okay getting there. There we go. Warpath finally gets this room cleared off. Has the white sword and now the wand, so got combat now. But fortunately just a little bit late to the combat to help him out. And it still needs keys.
And Chrono closing in, just a few rooms away.
Hey, there's a bomb wall. I was saying, I didn't know if he was going to bomb that wall for a second there. Just making sure that's a staircase before moving on. And has bombs still, so bombing right here would do enough. Won't even need the compass. Look at that. Pro player.
That'll do it. Chrono finishes at the time of 1:12:38.
And looks like we're joined by our winner on the seed, Willard J. Bradley. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. What a lovely level 9. I gotta say.
Yep. Well, the seed was pretty nice overall for the first little
Yeah.
while. We thought it could get really ugly when we saw the first Dark Knight Wizrobe set, but Red Ring early, you found the ladder before anybody, which gave you White Sword, so you had some good combat to go in there.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good with Red Ring and then ladder and then White Sword pretty early. That was all really nice. That trip into 8 was really nice, just grabbing both items and bailing and then immediately going back to 1. Getting that magic key was huge.
Yeah.
It let me play the game, which was nice.
Yeah, Chrono never got to that key because of, I think, between the ladder and not having the 3 keys required to get there, 4 if you didn't pirouette the first door. Just kind of put him back.
Did Chrono not get the White Sword?
Nope, never went back for it.
Interesting. All right. Dang, that was close between the two of us then.
Quick update here, too, from the race room. Warpath has forfeited.
Yeah, unfortunately with the result in hand, it was a forfeit in the first race, so the timing would be impossible really to come back from.
I'm gonna bring them all up in. Hello, everyone.
Howdy, howdy.
So, GG's to all.
GG's.
Warpath unfortunately looked like you got stymied by all the key doors in the seed, so just kind of slowed you down to your progress points. You finally got some combat going there at the end, but it was just not enough to get you back in it.
Yeah, it was definitely wrong door, wrong place, wrong door, wrong place. So, you know, hey, it was just like last night, luck and a draw. So, I mean, and these guys, they ran one hell of a race, so can't take anything away from that, that's for sure.
Nope. Just if you had 3 more keys or 4 more keys in the seed, it would have opened up for you. Just one of those that was really demanding of you either buying keys or digging one deep enough with ladder in hand to find the any key.
Yeah, I ended up buying 2 keys from the cheap meat shop. There were 72 a piece, and with early red ring, I was like, okay, I don't need to save money really for a blue ring or anything like that. So I went ahead and bought one, and then I bought arrows anyway, and that ended up working out pretty well.
Yep. Speaking of buying keys, I'm pretty sure Chrono bought a handful of keys there and got through the rest of the seed on pretty much poverty keys up until I think level 7. You got up to 5 or 6 before you left, and that was enough to push it through 9.
Yeah, I bought 3 keys. 1 right away, and then 2 towards the middle.
That 7. I think I was in 7 for like 10 minutes. It was a long trip just to get a book, but I think the book ended up helping me out, clearing out 8, looking for the Triforce, just knowing where to bomb. And let me tell you about those bomb upgrades. Jeez.
Were they good? I spent all
Yeah.
my money on keys.
They were +6, and I got both of them in 8. So I had 20 bombs going into 9.
Oh wow, yeah. I never quite ran out of bombs. I had a lot of luck with bomb dropping. It seemed like any monster that could drop a bomb, they did for me today.
Yeah, especially the blue Octoroks. They were dropping them like mad crazy, which was nice.
Yeah, I got stuck a little bit on bombs in Death Mountain, otherwise, yeah, it was just that level 1. Level 1 killed me.
Yeah. Just trying to think of what else really went wild this seed. I feel like Chrono got that early 8 dig even before Willard and tried to find the Triforce all in one go. Unfortunately, the Triforce was super deep in there with a very, very, very helpful staircase that just took you one room the wrong way.
Oh, I was wondering if that room right before the Triforce ended up being a stairs. But
Nope, there's
yeah,
a diamond.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's diamond staircase, like not too far away from your pathing down there. Took you one room to the left, and that was all that did.
Not very convenient. Yeah, boy, compasses were huge in this seed for me as well. Just like finding the one in 8, finding the one in 9, even though it was literally one room away or 2 rooms away from Zelda, was a lifesaver there because I definitely took the wrong way through 9. I feel like I was in there for a bit, checking out all the top portions, and then it was just over there. But that'll do it. That's 9 for you. So
yeah, you explored a little bit more of 9 than Chrono. Chrono got into 9. I think it was 50 seconds after you. Was almost done fighting Ganon by the time you took the first staircase, and then we were wondering because he went kind of a different route to the southeast. Decided to go down through a key door instead of up, and that divergence we thought might come into play just because if he bombs around down there, who knows, given where she ended up being. But one of those where I think you both ended up routing everything, but the northwest corner is the only thing that Chrono didn't really tackle too much of, and he never saw the compass in the Chevy room, but he bombed the wall and walked through it, so he didn't need it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my 9 wasn't too bad. I went northeast first, but I mean it was a big 9, especially compared to last night, which was pretty tiny. But it wasn't, it just took a little time. Monsters are pretty easy.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, hopefully tomorrow I actually get there.
Yeah. Oh, game 3 will be an interesting one to see. I think you're basically mathematically out of it, but you can go in there and play a little spoiler, see if you can't get one back on him.
It's all about fun, like I said last night. Same deal, and again, going against these two guys, you'd be lucky to get into that, the 5-10 minute window with them, So I don't feel bad about it. Not at all.
I wouldn't. And you just get more chances to improve the more you play. So come back in, fight him again in another tournament, and maybe you'll be on even footing for that one. And we'll see you go a little bit further.
Yep.
Yeah. GG's, you guys. So these two were a couple fun races for sure. They were much nicer than my usual seats, so I'm always pleasantly surprised when I can get something around the 110 range. I'll take it every time. But yeah,
yearly red ring helps out a lot.
Oh my gosh, so nice.
Yep.
Makes it very relaxing.
Mhm.
Well, get the relaxing out of the way this seed because the forest region that you guys are in doesn't get much easier. You get someone who's finished second about every other tournament and it's really gunning to go for first in HN. Then you got Angel, who's very competent in multiple games now. I think this is 2 or 3 different games where Angel's kind of a top 20 player, so it should be a fun time.
Well, did he get second the last tournament, or is this the other?
Adios got second against Saver like 2016, and Saver again in 2017, I think.
I'm trying to
Saver
figure
won
out
both.
if this is when he's due to be second, or if he's the other one.
Yep, and then I dealt the nail in the coffin in the All Boards No Swords 2019 tournament against him to put him second again.
Oh, look at that! Ah.
Oh yeah, I give him a little bit of a hard time. Because,
What kind of tips
anyways.
you
It's going to be fun. I mean, I accomplished what I wanted to do, so whatever happens next round, I'm just excited to be there. So,
Well, look, everybody's got a chance in one of these, so it's going to be a fun race. Group of 4 coming up, so we get to see all 4 spots filled up when that happens. But first, we'll see if Warpath can catch up and get one in there.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I'm rooting for it. Go get them.
Hey, it's a good time regardless.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
anything else?
Is there a better way to spend an exciting Saturday night than playing Z1R?
Nope, I can't think of anything.
Nothing more fun than sitting in rooms with whiz robes and dark nuts, for sure.
absolutely.
With no sword.
Hey man, you made it real far with the wand. That was a fun time to watch.
Yeah, that was a
You
little
won.
goofy last night, but yeah, I don't think I've had that much of a problem finding the sword per se. But I think, like I said, I was just hanging around too long in spots. Otherwise, I'd have probably found it much earlier.
Yeah, well, we'll have another swordless tournament at some point. Sign up for that. With the way you're using the wand, I think you'll do fine.
We'll check it out.
With that, though, any final thoughts from Brewers fan JP or from any of you for that matter?
Just thanks to everybody for the stream. Thanks for the race and a good game to Mr. Willard. It was a good time. So have a good night,
GG.
good weekend, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yup.
All right, Brewers fan, fun race there.
Yep, it was a good one to watch. And we'll have to see how these Wood and Chrono do as they continue forward. We got some tough matches ahead, but definitely played real well tonight. And so did Warpath. So, yeah, I think we have one more race tonight. Still,
Yeah, I would think that unless it's a jet seed, the Nochi Czar Babino seed's probably still ongoing. They started about 30 minutes after us on SpeedGaming Prime, so you can head on over that way, and if they're done right around 1 in the morning, the last race of the night will happen, and there's also another race you can kind of go check the VOD of from SpeedGaming 4 that happened alongside this one, which featured Chess Jerk, Imasak, and Liquid Husband Game 2, so bunch of stuff you can go back and look at. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing what happens the rest of the night with some of these races.
yeah. So, thanks to our tracker as well, Kemi and Renakai. And we'll see you all later.